Hey everyone, just back here and we're going to talk about landed costs. A lot of people have different opinions about landed costs and how it operates within Business Central. I just thought I'd go through some of the basics. Okay, and before we start, let's go through a Miro board where we talk about without landed cost of transaction of $100, let's call it a widget, we receive it, $100, we post it to a purchase invoice, and the inventory has a cost of $100. Very, very straightforward. But what happens if you receive one or many orders and then you get a bill from your freight company and you have to take up those costs and apply those costs? In this situation, you can take a posted receipt and apply a freight cost of $20 against it. And I'm going to take you through that example here, where we will post a receipt across a couple of items. So let's go into Business Central, and from here, I'm currently in the inventory manager role. I'm going to go into items, and underneath items, I've created a new item called a widget because we all love keeping it simple. Here we go, example item widget. Now I have taken the liberty to go and create a purchase and receive it already. So against this item, we're going to go into related, history, entries, ledger entries. Now from ledger entries, you can see here that I have a purchase that's already been received. It's $1,000. Let's scroll over. And if I click on the cost amount, the actual, I can see what it's made up of. And the cost is made up of this direct cost transaction. Let's move over, and I can see here the cost per unit is $100 and we ordered 10. Okay, so therefore it's 10 times 100 equals the cost. All right, so let's now turn around and do the same transaction. I'm going to go purchase order. New purchase order. Okay, and we are going to go in here into Graphic Design Institute. I'm going to select my widget. Here, and I'm just gonna put in a quantity of 5, so it's $500. We can see that here. I'll make up a vendor invoice number and a shipment number. Okay, I'm going to release this order. Now released, create warehouse receipt. This is set up to receive automatically, so the quantity is 5. I'm just going to post the receipt. And now I've received those goods. We should have an additional receipt there. I'm going to post this invoice, the purchase order to invoice, receive an invoice, and it's done. So we've now got 15 stock on hand. Okay. Let's now go have a look at our posted warehouse receipt. And here you'll see that I've got posted warehouse receipts as an archive, and I should have a few receipts in here that we've received today. Okay. All right. So now that we've got the freight bill in, and the bill is for multiple different things, I'm going to go straight to a purchase invoice. I'm going to create a new purchase invoice. And the freight cost has come from my freight company here, which we're just going to call Fabricant. All right, and we're going to use a different item type. We're going to go to item charge. And from here, an item charge gives you the ability, you can search item charge in Tell Me. The reality is that many different types of item charges. So for example, freight, you could have interest, you could have fees, all sorts of things. But this is a freight invoice. We could have received it a month after receiving the goods. It's one of, and I think that this needs to be $500. So I have a $500 invoice here, and it is for this particular set of transactions. So we need to allocate this. So the invoice number from the vendor is this, and we're going to go line, related information, item charge assignment. Now from here, a couple of different things you can do. Normally, if you've got multiple items already on the invoice, you can put your item charge. If it's invoiced with the goods, you can spread it, but this, it's not. There's no other items on this invoice. There's just a freight charge. And so what we need to do is we need to hit get receipt lines. And this is going to show us all of our receipt lines that have come in. So I'm going to look for my item. I'm just going to filter to. And I have 2 receipts that are here. And I can receive that and hit OK. Now, so far, this has 2 items. It tells us we have to assign $500. So I'm going to click Suggest Item Assignment. And this gives me the ability from the line that I've put in here, which is $500, needs to be split equally, or by amount, by weight, or by volume. And I'm going to go by amount. If I scroll over, I'll see a percentage breakdown of the split and the amount that's been assigned to both of these item purchases. I press close, and I'm just going to post this invoice for the freight charge. Now, let's go home. I want to go into the item. And from the item, we're going to take a look at the changes to its cost. Let's go item. Example widget. Same again. So we're going to go, just wait for this to load. Here we go. Related. History. Entries. Ledger entries. Okay. So now we can see that the cost has changed between the 2 transactions. So beforehand, when we came here, this first transaction had $1,000. Let's click on it and see what's happened. We can see now that the cost posted to the GL has had a freight transaction insert. And as you look at this, is the cost per unit has gone up by $33.34. Therefore, the cost on this unit would be $133. Go back to the item card, and now you can see our item cost is actually $133, not $100. So in essence, you can post bills from a supplier, for example, a service provider, time, like after you've received and paid for the goods from your supplier, you may have a third party that you have to pay input duty, maybe anything to do with landing it. So it could be cleaning, it could be fumigation, it could be transport and freight, anything within the shipping. So all of that can be applied to previously posted transactions on invoice just through using the item charges. Thank you.